Hey all, Peyton Marine here, and welcome to the Forged in Plastic Championship round. Now, um, wow, this has been a pretty awesome thing I've done over the past year, and I'm not sure if it's going to continue. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I was glad to see all the participation and everything. But just this next year's going to be pretty hectic, and to figure something out logistically. Plus, as I'm doing this championship round now, it is now into March, so we're well past the first quarter when I would have started it. So at the very least, there's for now not going to be a season 2 at least this year. May continue it this coming year. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see if anybody has any feedback or suggestions on how to improve or whatever to see if there will be a return. But with all that being said, it was an amazing experience. Lots of people participated all throughout the year, and the Final Four, I think, are all very well deserving to be there. Unfortunately, though, in this final championship, only 3 returned. We did lose one. I just decided not to return for the championship for whatever their reasoning, which is fine. So just kind of took it down to the final 3, and what a championship round, I will say. It was amazing. Everybody did outstanding work, and it's definitely shown how they made it to this round. For those that may be unfamiliar in general, each quarter had a specific theme, usually like Space Marine, then Chaos, and then there was kind of 2 groups of Xenos, and then there was parameters in there, and this is strictly a conversion competition. There's no painting involved other than to do just a basic gray base coat to blend the pieces together so you can't obviously tell like where seams and things and stuff are, just to kind of help make it a more cohesive model. And then once the competitors in those specific categories put forth their first kind of generic model, because usually just submit anything within this theme category, and then those championship people in those quarters would then go up against each other for like an official thing. So the first one was the Blood Ravens. Sergeant Cyrus was to cross the Rubicon Primaris, so create him as a Primaris Space Marine. And so similar kind of themed, I guess more stringent parameters were set up for the quarter championship round. Then each one of those quarter finalists or champions were brought to the end of the year here to then compete in this finalist one, which is to create a lost primarch. Now we know that there were 2 lost primarchs of the 20 primarchs that were sent out, and so this was their chance to make it however they want. It could be who knows, maybe the primarch was like an alien or mutated in some weird way to be an alien, or some sort of chaos thing, or it could have been a fallen primarch, a demon primarch, whatever they wanted. They could pretty much their full leeway. Just the only thing was a primarch. Then I set up the base sizes and everything like that, and then to include a story with it, some kind of a background of like what is the story of this primarch in particular. And like I said, amazing models all around. I'm really excited to share these with you all, and then we'll get into the champion of this first thing. So for the champion, again, like in the past, everyone has gotten a $100 US GW gift voucher, or whatever the country equivalent of that ends up being after conversion rates and stuff. And then this time, in addition, they're going to be getting a significant box of various things. There's I shared a post on the Facebook page and on Instagram of the different things. There's different posters, books, some models. There's a pop, one of the unpainted pop figure, Space Marine, all kinds of really cool stuff. And there's a the bag, like the little kind of backpack kind of bag that came on one of the store anniversaries. If you like spent so much, you get the bag. There's these really good metal objective markers from Games Workshop. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It's really cool. So hopefully whoever wins appreciates that, along with, again, the virtual gift voucher and everything. And yeah, so we're going to jump into the next, I guess, aspect of this, and I'm going to show, I guess, the video or pictures of the models, so everyone can see them. And while that is showing, I'm going to be reading kind of the backstory of what they submitted as the background of their characters. Now, of the three, so again, I just said it had to just be like a paragraph, nothing too crazy. It doesn't have to be super, just about a paragraph. One person did submit it. It's about a page on Microsoft Word, normal spacing. So it is pretty substantial of a background. So I will read through them all, though. I think they all have some really cool ideas on backgrounds for these primarchs. And also, they... also, I just wanted to say with this, as I read them, please accept my early apology of any mispronunciations of names or whatever. There's some interesting names they've come up with, and I will do my best to hopefully pronounce them correctly. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not the best when it comes to some of these things, especially some of those actual official words that GW comes out with are just very interesting. So, yeah, without further ado, I will put up the first one, and we will go from there. All right, first up is the entry from Ben Woodford. So, again, I'll do my best to read through this. So we have the demon primarch, Chlorian Gadar, or Gadhar, raised on a small and peaceful planet in the farthest reaches of the Imperium. Chlorian Gadhar knew little of the Imperium of Man. At the edge of known space, Chlorian's planet was subject to frequent raids by neighboring Xenos races in search of resources, and out of necessity, he quickly rose to be a superb tactical defense expert. This was not where his only strength lay. He was a master negotiator, and as decades turned into centuries, he forged strong and peaceful alliances with his neighbors. All of this was shattered when the first arrived in search of the Primarch, and with little provocation, their fleet of battle barges, they annihilated each race with extreme prejudice. So with inferior technologies and little resources to fight for their alliance, Chlorian submitted to the Emperor's will and returned to his father. Through gritted teeth and bended knee, he became the man that his father had wanted, and with the gift of a legion, he strengthened the Imperium's defenses at its outmost reaches. Yet it was here that Chlorian was most at home, and he once again began to question the Imperium's tactics and prejudices. He began forging new and unsanctioned alliances with other races. When news of this reached the Emperor, both the First and the Space Wolves were sent to retrieve him. But this time he had a legion at his back, one with his gene seed fervently defended their position. One of the most bloody and needless battles that the Imperium has ever took place at the edge of Imperium space, but for Chlorian, despite his tactical genius and a legion of Astartes, they stood little chance against the two of the most ruthless and powerful chapters the Emperor had forged. Presumed dead when his battle cruiser exploded, Chlorian escaped with a small band of survivors, but perhaps drawn by the turmoil within space, a vicious warp storm disrupted real space and swallowed the fleeing Primarch. But he did not die that day. He and his gene seed did what they must to survive, and as the decades passed, what was left of his legion succumbed to chaos and were lost to the warp. The ruinous powers that had their plans for Chlorian too. Yet his ability to negotiate and steadfast belief in the right to life meant that this was not too easy to twist to their ways. Centuries of chittering, posturing, and offers of true power finally took their toll. Little now remains the man that once was, his body mutated, monstrous wings and flesh that can form almost unimaginable shapes, yet sections of his once glorious golden armor seem to linger, and when not enraged or embroiled in battle, his body often holds the form of the young Primarch who once had so much promise. Okay, so there is Ben Woodford's entry, the Demon Primarch Chlorian. And we'll take a look here at the video, or the pictures, and also kind of go over some of the feedback we got from the judges. And again, just amazing work by everyone again. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff here. So we can already see there's definitely some use of some Tyranid parts with the wings. But a lot of it too is kind of interesting because it's kind of um, like, where are some of these parts from? And some of them are definitely not just parts, but there's assumed green stuff here with these cool like tentacle things, and I really um, appreciate the unique approach there. But it's, yeah, this ribbon here as well around this just mega axe, this really cool posing here with like this tentacle coming out around this blood angel. The exposed ribs, which if we go back here, you can see again it kind of goes through, and there's like skulls inside as well. Um, so all very really cool. Um, the only kind of I guess downside, it was kind of a common just thing pointed out, and again is just could be kind of newer to sculpting certain things, because this is definitely some sculpting happening in here. And just, again, when you're doing sculpting, it's hard to achieve some of the stuff that you can get through like the printing and stuff or whatever that they do, but there's just some softness to it, to the armor and things. I'm not really sure. I'm speaking for myself now personally. I've never been a great sculptor of like green stuff or milliput or whatever. So I found it impressive in general, and so I mean so did the judges as well. But the other thing is, I guess their main thing was just if this could have been, I guess, somehow a little bit more of an edge to some of it. Um, but again, I'm not even sure like if this is probably from Age of Sigmar, right? Those I don't even know what those bone guys are called now. Um, but still, like, very, very cool, unique. And this really, I think, plays to that backstory, that theme of kind of like he's essentially kind of a shapeshifter primarch, or demon primarch of some kind. At least the limbs, to some degree, are able to shapeshift, it looks like. Um, and this right here, I just think this is really cool posing. Like, he's just kind of just kind of nonchalantly just like wrapping up that blood angel, just, yeah, as he came down and landed, grabbed onto that rock for some support, and then just took that blood angel. It just looks effortless. So very well done, very cool, very unique, great backstory. Everything is very, again, cool, like kind of pile of skulls down here. We got a thunder hammer probably dropped by the blood angel. His shield is dropped over here. Very, very cool. Very well done. Um, all right. Next we have James Dowson's entry. There you go. So it is, again, forgive me on the name here if I get it wrong. Agvor Fanmar. I'm going to say Agvor Fanmar. Landed on an Eldari craft world and was adopted by a Farseer. He grew strong and agile at an accelerated rate. The Seer Council saw the power potential in this young monkey and started transforming him into a weapon for the Eldar. He was trained in all aspects, as well as spending time with Harlequin troop and the different cabals and covens of the Drukhari, surpassing every other Eldar he trained with. He's been known to take on vast armies of Space Marines, Imperial Guard, and Chaos single-handed. His main task is to bring down the Chaos God Slaanesh. However, as he becomes more dedicated to the task, Slaanesh feeds of his excess. So again, I want to take a look at the pictures here and just talk on a few things. Again, awesome, amazing work. There's this awesome base that they use. I think it's from like the War Walker. I can't remember what it's called exactly for the Eldar, but they have kind of like a already molded base, kind of like the Space Marine Dreadnought does. So that definitely adds to the Eldar aesthetic to it. Looks like we use some Necron bits here for this kind of waistcoat, or I can't remember what you call it now, and as well as on the arm here. And I'm not too sure what this is here. This seam, I'm not sure if there what the I don't know, conversion that was done there, because I thought this was all kind of like one piece. Maybe not. I'm not sure that there. But anyway, moving along. This is again, I think, from those bone reapers, I think they're called. Kind of like in the last one, I think those parts were kind of used. We got some Gilliman in here, it looks like. Um, yeah, just some definitely interesting part use. Again, I think this is a bone reaver shoulder pad. Um, we have this sword. It's from one of the walkers, I believe. It's a cool cat head. I do not know where that's from. But yeah, really cool. I like the kind of hair or whatever here is whipping around. Um, yeah, very, very cool. Trying to go here. So we got like a gun kind of on the hand here, or the arm, the forearm kind of mounted on there. Um, Again, very cool. So, definite positives again, very unique model, definite usage across many different kinds of things. We have, Age of Sigmar looks like the Bone Reapers, or whatever they're called. Um, the Gilliman use, Necron bits, and stuff like that. But some of the critiques that kind of came up with this one um, was mostly in this area right here. Well, it looks cool. It definitely hides what's going on with this arm here. Like what's happening. Um, I don't know if there's a way to split this to kind of make it more seen, or what exactly. It's not exactly clear, kind of like what is going on underneath there. You can kind of make it out. I'm trying to think what that kind of bladed arm is called with um, the Eldar that you've seen, but definitely. That kind of hiding that kind of aspect kind of takes away from like what could potentially kind of, I guess, add more to the model in general. So what is going on there? And then the other thing is the helmet, which I kind of mentioned before, but was a common question um, when trying to make something a bit more seamless. Um, it's not quite there, so it's kind of just questioning what happened there, what was going on. And yeah, so but yeah, so and then I guess that one other kind of feedback I did get was a question, and I didn't really have an honest way of answering, but I think you kind of tell in the picture is um, it was done, or the picture's edited into a grayscale instead of primed into a gray prime, which you can still see kind of with the shininess of the photo, like that's plastic, and then stuff like this where it's clipped off the sprue would have been blended in if it was primed. So with that, and you can see here again, if this would have been primed, it may have hid this seam, this defect here, and that's again a lot of the reason why I say to prime the model, just a basic gray color. Because one gray is pretty neutral. Like if you want to paint it later, you could do a zenithal highlight with a white, or you could do a black from underneath and then do a white from over top if you wanted to do a like extreme zenithal or whatever. Because these are their models at the end of the day, whatever they want to do with them after the fact. And so that's just something that could have maybe been hidden with the base coat spray. So, but overall, still an amazing model, a cool backstory, and very well done. All right, so next up we have Tom Dowson. I'm not sure if there's any relation to the previous, but anyway, so again, I will do my best to pronounce these names here. So we have, Liza Almwalt is the forgotten primarch of the Second Legion, the Unspoken. When the primarch's capsules were scattered through the galaxy, say Liza landed on an uncolonized planet. The fauna of the planet would scatter and run from him as he approached. Eventually, a small party from a neighboring imperial planet landed on the planet to explore and set up a new home. They were led by a shaman, a powerful human psyker. Liza was drawn to these new settlers, yet they became extremely uncomfortable as he got nearer. The shaman let out a harrowing scream and crumpled to the floor dead. The shaman's scream of pain was so loud psychically that the Emperor of Mankind heard it. There was something about it that unnerved him enough to seek out the cause himself. The Emperor arrived on the planet and became quite unwell. Hearing the ship land, Liza tracked it down and he instantly recognized his father, yet the Emperor got weaker as he approached and ordered his custodians to take take him back to the ship and take off, leaving the young Liza stranded and alone again. Liza was a blank, missing a soul with no presence in the warp, but with the genetic enhancements his curse was amplified, causing psychers around him immense pain and even death. Eventually, his legion found him, and from his gene seed, they too were all blanks. Unable to kill them, the Emperor removed all traces of them in the Imperium records, and the only reminder is an empty pill in the hall of the primarchs. So very cool backstory again, and as such, I really like the way this one fits that backstory. Kind of reminds me of a Wraith from like Lord of the Rings. Very cool though. Yeah, so let's jump in. So we have here. This is the base from Abaddon. Yeah, so very cool kind of base here. So he's stepping on a Primaris Marine. So I don't know if some Primaris Marines happened across this planet and confused at what was going on and were taken out by him. And then we have some Age of Sigmar stuff going on here with the legs and it looks like shoulder pads, I think is an Age of Sigmar. Some Necron stuff going on. Sword, I'm not sure where that's from, but we'll continue on. So some more angles here. So the pose is very cool, very imposing, kind of like, welcoming a challenge. The hood and the head looks really cool. I'm not sure what that's from. Again, like on all the spines and spikes and stuff. It looks like a Terminator or maybe Abaddon for the back. I'm not sure actually. Let me relook at some things here. Okay, yeah, actually, I believe this is Abaddon, was used as the base kind of model for some of these parts anyway. At least it looks like the shoulders. Perhaps, yeah. I'm looking at my own Abaddon box right now. Just trying to identify some of the pieces. But yeah, very cool backstory. Like I said, I like the idea of a blank. That's kind of cool. Sounds like it's a super powerful one and everything. So we'll jump into kind of the critiques and stuff from the judges. And I think I'll start off with this one right now that is similar to the last one of the no base coat. You again can see kind of the reflection of the plastic, and this was done in just kind of a grayscale filter. And so it doesn't hide a lot of things that may have been better hidden, and then blending things. So you can see where a lot of kind of like something kind of muddly going on in through here. Looks like some plastic glue kind of overspilled on the foot here. It could have probably been hidden a little better there. But yeah, just in general, like the base coat is really there to help hide those seams and any imperfections and things, and make it again seem more seamless and cohesive of a model. But yeah, so, and then we have down here a little bit. But yeah, overall it's pretty straightforward. Those were kind of the main kind of concerns, or whatever, was just wanting it to have more of a solid standard color to then hide some of those seams and some of these things. I'm not sure if this is some kind of green stuff or something to kind of make a robe of some kind, but it looks cool in the idea of it being kind of maybe a tattered robe, kind of like this part here is tattered robe piece, which is also from the Abaddon model, including this belt here that the chaos symbol was taken off of. So yeah, so definitely a very cool aspect here, and then with these spikes and stuff coming up and out, adds some cool profile to it as well. So, but yeah, so that's kind of it for that one. And overall, again, I very impressed by everybody's work. They all look really great. Just a few kind of minor things really here and there, which is kind of expected at this level for there not to be a ton of super huge critiques or anything groundbreaking. But yeah, so with all of that, the next thing I'm going to jump into is announcement of the winner. So the next one that you will see here in a second will be the winner of the first season of Forged in Plastic. And again, I really have to stress again, thank you for everybody for participating at whichever level you participated in into the final 3 here. Again, I really appreciate your work. It's all outstanding, really. And if it was just financially viable, I would try to do some kind of a second and third or something kind of prize. But unfortunately, I'm not that big of a presence either on YouTube or anywhere else where I'm like making extra money from this at all. So this is just pure love of the hobby and trying to support my fellow hobbyists out there and give them a place to shine as well. So yeah, with all that, without further ado, congratulations to Ben Woodford with your Demon Primarch of Chlorian. Very great work. And again, everybody did such great work, but this one just from just different execution styles, the pose of the model, the kind of the extra tentacles that were definitely used in there, just very of the 3, it just kind of came out as you know, they were all very different techniques used, but there's a little extra techniques used with the sculpting as well as the converting, and again, just the imposingness of the model. Very well done. Again, congratulations. And we'll be in contact with you. And again, I can't stress enough, just thank you to everyone that participated. I am greatly humbled and appreciative of everybody's participation. And again, I wish there was a way to support everybody. But at the end of the day, there can only be one winner. And congratulations again to Ben Woodford. So, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Again, thank you for this, the support, and hopefully everyone's enjoyed this whole series. If you're interested, if you think this was a good thing or a good series or whatever, I'll try to see if I can continue to do another season of this in the future. I may change things up a little bit. You know, obviously as things continue, I try to improve format, everything going forward as I can. I definitely will take any suggestions if anybody has any, again, if this were to continue. And again, if this is your first time here, I invite you to check out the rest of the channel. Please subscribe if you would. Like the Facebook page, Instagram, I have those in the description below as well. Check those out and just kind of see what I got going on there. But yeah, without further ado, I think we'll end this here. And again, thank you for watching, and until next time.